You're listening to the Bring the Thunder podcast, a podcast by fans for fans.
Yes, you are, everybody. Welcome back to the Bring the Thunder podcast on a beautiful Sunday afternoon here. I'm here with Satveer and Jack. We're going to do a little pregame show tonight, or today. The Thunder are going back to the only place that they've taken a loss early this season to play the Portland Trailblazers. And do we have some injury updates, fellas? I'll go over some expected lineups really quick. Shai Gilgeous Alexander, Casey Wallace, Lou Dort, J-Dub, Chet Holmgren. Aaron Wiggins is back. The Thunder are officially healthy. We thought we were mistaken. Isaiah Hartenstein is going to be reevaluated in 10 to 14 days. He's got a calf strain pretty much. Pretty brutal injury and pretty brutal timing for the OKC Thunder heading into the NBA Cup second round here. So pretty unfortunate, but we know one thing about this team. Even through the injuries, they're going to remain consistent. For the Portland Trailblazers, it's Shaedon Sharpe, Toumani Camara, Deni Avdija, Jeremy Grant, and Donovan Clingan, who is currently questionable with an illness, but they're expecting him to play. Injuries for them remain Scoot Henderson, Drew Holiday, Matisse Thybulle, and Blake Wesley. Fellas, talk to me really quick about the Isaiah Hartenstein injury before we get into our first segment of the show.
I want to go first and just say it's been a brutal run for big men and like having these muscle injuries, which are very dangerous for the NBA. So if this continues for like the center position where we see it kind of more widespread and more frequent, then teams are going to have to learn to figure out their pacing or just say, hey, we're going to wait for our center to get down the court and not rush him up and down and, play that style because it may not be the best long-term for them. And that's where I think Hartenstein, may better be off the bench just for that sake, for his longevity, especially with this pace and stuff that we want to play. Even for Chet, I feel a little scared that this is kind of happening now. Right now, it's just kind of more of a theory than it is something that we can look to long-term, but definitely something I'm a little worried about. And for Hartenstein's sake, I hope we just give him 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, whatever he needs. Like, honestly, like we don't need him around the roster anytime soon. Even if we drop like 2 or 3 games, I don't mind the trade-off of losing him for a bit longer than his expected return date or anything like that. So I'm sure they're going to play it super cautious and not get him out there early. But I've had calf injuries. I've had a level 3 tear on my own calf. So
there you go.
I know how it goes where you get a level 1, you kind of ignore it, you play, you get a level 2, and then you're out for like 8 to 9 months and you're practically on an ACL tear at that point. So definitely not anything you want to play with. And so wishing him the best of recovery on that one.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just happy it's happening now and not down the line closer to the playoffs or anything important. It kind of seems like we're getting all our injuries out of the way now with Wiggins, Dub, iHeart. So hopefully, as long as we can be healthy come playoffs, that's the only thing that really matters.
Yeah, absolutely. We know it's a long-term thing. Sapir brings up a good point. They said 10 to 14 reevaluation date. Hopefully they give him about I'd say like a month off is honestly well-deserved anyway. So hopefully he can get back soon. Wishing him the best. We'll continue on with our pregame show. The Thunder coming off, looking to continue an 11-game win streak, trying to get it up to 12. Last loss, like I said, in Portland, to Portland. And this Portland Trailblazers have been kind of rocky ever since then. They're 8-11 coming off a loss to the Spurs. Jack, really quick, Aaron Wiggins' revenge game tonight? Because he did get injured in Portland the last time he played.
Mm-hmm. I'm expecting a big game from him. He got robbed of a 30-piece because got subbed off, injured out early. So he'll have a chip on his shoulder for sure because he knows that they would have won that game if he was still in.
Absolutely. All right, fellas, let's get into our first real segment of the day here. Overrated, underrated, X Factor, and favorite for the Portland Trailblazers. I'm going to kick it off with Satveer, your overrated player for the Blazers. And I'm sorry, fellas, I know this is our third preview of the Portland Trailblazers so far this year, but we got to get it through here.
Yeah, I'm going to try to make it quick. Overrated, Deni Avdija. I still, for all the reasons, that I've mentioned in the other recordings. I think we can make him uncomfortable, not look like himself. I think every team has like a little ticker that they played against us and their averages all went down. So yeah, I still think he's not like a high-end star that you need, like a Cade Cunningham or, some of the up-and-coming guys that they're trying to make him out to be. I think he's a secondary guy. But what do you think, Jack?
Yeah, that's my exact pick as well. I haven't picked him either of the first two previews actually, but now after he's shooting like 30% from the field in both his games against us, I have him as overrated because he's just not efficient. And I mean, he's playing better against every other team and he's having a pretty good season, but against us, he's definitely overrated.
Yeah, he's definitely in for quite the test tonight. First game, no Lu Dort. Second game, no J-Dub, well, in both. Now he's got both of them on the floor alongside Casey Wallace, AJ Mitchell, and all of our other great defenders. We'll see how he stacks up against this defense. Underrated, Xavier.
Yep, underrated. The guy that's questionable tonight, Donovan Clingan. I think they're going to need a lot of rim protection in general against a guy like Chet. Chet just came off a great night. I expect him to do the same. So they're going to need a lot of defense and Donovan Clingan specifically not to foul out. And I think that's going to be the hardest thing for him. If they can control the glass, they have an opportunity because second chance points kicks out to extra 3-point looks. And even if you're not hitting your 3-pointers, if you get more of them, it gives you a shot to stay in the game. And they have guys that can shoot like at a high volume. So I feel like that's going to be very important. So that's the guy I'm going to highlight as a underrated guy.
Mm-hmm. My underrated pick has not changed for the third time. I have Toumani Camara. I think his defense is just locked down. And I mean, I've spoken about it a lot already. So yeah, same reasons.
Yeah, Xavier, I do want to point out, I love your pick there because the Thunder are missing. And I don't think a lot of people realize this right now. Isaiah Hartenstein was the 6th ranked MVP. Oh, he was number 6 on the MVP tracker to start this year, Isaiah Hartenstein. So Clingan looking to have himself a night on the glass, which is insane. X Factor, fellas.
Oh man, Shaedon Sharpe kind of goes alongside my Donovan Clingan underrated. We're gonna need to see explosion from him from the threes. That's all you really need him to do is just spot up on either side of the wing and just keep shooting them. Like I wouldn't even drive. He has the ability to drive. Guys like him that are high flyers, like get to the basket pretty easily, but he should use that to his advantage. Take a bunch of step backs and see if he can shoot Portland into the game. If anything, that's what I would want if I was the coach. I'd be like, yo, we got nothing to lose. We're facing the champions and just air it out, right? So,
oh yeah.
I think for my X Factor, I'm going to go with Jeremy Grant because they're down quite a few players, especially if Clingan goes out. So he's going to need to step up, and he'll definitely be starting, I'd assume. So he's in for a big game if they want to have a chance to make this competitive. But they don't have a playmaker, from what I know, apart from Danny Avdia, I guess, because Drew Holiday and Scoot are out. So
right,
that'll be yeah.
Yeah, and in that first game, Drew Holiday was playing like it was 2015 all over again. It was unbelievable the way he was shooting the ball and playmaking. But he is continued out here. All right, fellas. Final pick of the segment here. Your favorite Portland Trailblazer, which maybe we have one today. We don't have a lot of favorites around the NBA, but maybe in Portland we do.
Yeah. Last time I think I chose Sissoko as just a side pick. This time I'm going to go with Chris Murray. Just want to highlight the Murray brothers. They're great shooters. And I don't know. I just like both of their games. Very simple. Maybe not the best defenders, but they're elite at least at one thing. And that's the 3-point shooting and having good size on them. So he's a young guy up and coming and would love to see, him grow into his role. And 6'8" wings, similar to, the other 3-point shooter that are elite, like those type of player builds nowadays. So they're rare.
It's pretty hard to choose a favorite on this team for the third time this season, but I think I'm just gonna go Ryan Rupert because he used to play for the New Zealand Breakers.
There you go.
And that's pretty much the only connection. But there you go, deep in my bag for the third time.
Yo, wait! I just realized. No. I got to change my pick. Screw everything else. We are gonna see hopefully some Yang Hansen minutes, and so he is my favorite pick moving forward because that is a way less boring pick. They're gonna need a center that can score, and he's a great interior guy. So I'd love to see some pick and roll by him with Denny, and he's at least a glimmer of hope for them at the center position. And he's a modern big, so got a lot of flash to him.
Yeah, I actually do enjoy that pick. And for Jack, I do understand the New Zealand ties, but I don't know if a lot of people are going to love that pick after his flagrant foul last time they played in OKC. So, but I guess we'll forgive and forget because it's not too big of a name. All right, fellas, let's get into some betting lines before we wrap this up. Currently, OKC minus 11.5 on the spread, minus 675 on the money line. Tell me, are we going to cover and why, Sapir?
Yes, we're going to cover. That feels low. I was expecting a higher line for whatever reason, considering our last opponent with the Suns. It was like a 14-point line or something. So that feels low. They did give us our only loss, but I still expect us to win with 12 to 18 points. We'll get away from them probably in the third or fourth quarter, maybe even early on, to be honest. I feel like they know exactly the level of energy they have to play with, and especially with J-Dub back, this feels like a no-brainer of a pick. So double-digit win. We got too much depth offense. They're really going to be relying on Clingan, like I said, and the other guy that I guess they can rely on is Robert Williams, but he's really more of a rebounder, and I don't really see too much scoring from them. I guess Jack's pick with Jeremy Grant, he's a guy that can light it up because he's a veteran. But outside of that, there's not really anyone that I see with too much level of consistency. One other shout out that I do want to make for the Toumani Camara pick. This could be an opportunity for them to say, we may lose this game, but Shai Gilgeous Alexander will not score 20 points. And I could definitely see them going for that and just honestly putting a box and one around Shai and just saying, beat us with your three-point shooting, or anyone else can just get to the basket at will, and we're just triple teaming, double teaming, quadruple teaming. Honestly, I'm surprised teams haven't started doing that more. Similar to LeBron's early career where they wouldn't let him get to the basket. Surprised they haven't done that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think OKC covers easily. We just have too much depth now for the Portland to even try. You can just keep cycling it, and eventually they're just going to wear down because they're pretty injured and they're already the worst team. So now that we have Aaron Wiggins and J-Dub back, even with dropping Isaiah Hartenstein, I mean, we beat them without both of them earlier. So yeah, give me OKC to cover.
Yeah, I think you're both right. 11.5 seems extremely low. And I know Isaiah Hartenstein's not playing tonight, but I don't think they're valuing the return of Jalen Williams. And I know it's going to take some time for him to actually get back into swing of things, but if I was a betting man, I would definitely take the Thunder to cover as well. Let's get into some over-unders here for points. SGA, guys, is sitting at 31.5.
I mean, it's the Blazers. I feel like
they got story every time. It's the same.
They got nothing to lose, and we've won, I think, like 14 of the 15 matchups or something crazy. Since they had that one Dame Lillard shot, like they barely beat us after that since. So, I mean, God, Shai, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable with it. Just with the things that I was outlining, like, and we have J-Dub and Chet playing really well. I think Shai's going to continue his assist path. And so if he doesn't get to that 30, I don't think he's freaking out as much about it. The MVP race will be what it is. It's more of a narrative-based thing, so not too worried about that moving forward. He's already got one, and we're focused on bigger things. So if he can get into that 10-plus assist column, that's what I'm looking forward to. So,
Yeah, I'm also going to take the under. I think we just have too much firepower now to have to solely rely on him. I mean, he very well could go for 35, but give me the under.
Yeah, it really just depends on how the game goes, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Let's go to Chet Holmgren next here. I do want to point something out before we get really you guys' thoughts here. He's sitting at 18.5 and it's slightly favored under. Chet made 8 field goals on his 23-point night against Phoenix. 5 of them were assisted by Jalen Williams. And something we brought up before the game, J-Dub's impact on Chet's scoring. So before you answer, I would just like to see your guys' thoughts on, how much is J-Dub going to affect Chet throughout the rest of the year? And how does that influence your pick on his 18.5 tonight?
Well, I think he'll definitely get the 18.5 pull there. I mean, I'm predicting him to get 20 plus most nights now, especially with J-Dub back as an extra creator. Whenever we get AJ back, he'll get some extra looks. And with Wiggins returning as well, he's a good passer, facilitator, ball handler. So more guys you have around Chet that are like that can kind of create for him. And also he can create for himself a lot too. So I feel like it's an easy pick. And also I think the guys are all, we heard Hartenstein mention it, that they're all pushing for Chet to get that all-star nod. And there's no money associated to it, but I know he wants accolades around his name. And so he puts in a lot of work to get those accolades. So I think as Thunder fans and, as people that cover the sport, we should be pushing for his all-star bid this year, because you never know how many chances you can get at getting stuff like that. And you should get recognized for being on a unstoppable team, even though, we've seen other teams have multiple all-stars. So why not us? We had J-Dub last year. Get Chet in there, and I think they're making that push for him. So, and he's making that push for himself too.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chet works way better as a 2B when J-Dub is the 2A and SGA is a 1. So I think they just go together well and create more space for each other. And it just depends whose night it is, really, based on who's going to do the scoring. But any of them can take over a game out of our big three. So I'm going to go over, but not as confident as Xavier is. I think it might be right around the mark.
All right. Last guy here, J-Dub, 16.5. It was a, he's going to take some time to get back into the scoring end, but 16.5 always just seems a little low for Jalen Williams. But Xavier, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to keep taking that line as long as it's, so low while it is low. And I know he's recovering, but at any moment he can get back to his normal speed and pace. And I think he's like a 22 point per game on good efficiency. So that's what I'm predicting him at, right? Like he's right there alongside Chet as both being 20 plus point guys. He doesn't really have like the all-star bid that he's going for. He was looking for his teammates a lot, which I appreciate. And he played lockdown defense in the last game. So if he doesn't hit it, then, I understand this is just his second game back or whatever, but we know what level of player he is. And so I do expect some level of consistency to hit. He may turn into the 2B guy, Jack, this season, because he knows he's not really going for any accolades. He's just kind of out there vibing, making sure we get that extra money line spread covered. Essentially, he's just cherry on top. And it's rare to say that about a guy that's like an all NBA, all defense guy, but that's what he knows his role is coming in kind of late into the season. It's more like recovery based and, probably getting closer to like a 17, 18 point game average because he's not going to be as focused on it. But hopefully he does everything else for us. And yeah.
Well, I feel like him coming back will help Chet and his averages also because in my opinion, he is the 2A, but then that'll make it easier for Chet because obviously he'll require more attention on defense. As for his over-under, give me the over. I think as a Thunder fan, if you have this line and it's Jalen Williams, you got to take the over.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree with that, and I also think I agree with the 2A as well, just because he creates for Chet more than Chet creates for J-Dub, I believe, as of now. Obviously, they're both young. They're both still developing. We'll see how it goes. But a blessing to have them both. I did lie. Really quick, I want to throw these last two guys in, and you guys could rapid fire answer them. AJ Mitchell and Aaron Wiggins are both sitting at 10.5 points.
Man. I don't know how the minutes get distributed between those guys. So I think Aaron Wiggins is a little bit more, he's had more opportunity in general because even though he's coming off injury, he should get the minutes. AJ's minutes has gone down drastically. So I'm going to go with Aaron to go the over and AJ to go the under from what it's looking like, how the lineups are shaping out. So
I've taken the over on all three players so far, and I'm going to continue that and take the over on both of these. I think all the scoring is going to be done by these 5 players. Because we see games where Kaysen, Dort, Caruso have 2 to 5 points, but still impact the game hugely. So I think it'll be that kind of game for all those guys, and then Wiggins, AJ, and then the big 3 will do the bulk of the scoring. I think AJ will get most of his points in garbage time, because I expect this to be a bit of a blowout. So
awesome. And Sapir, I know you wanted Denny's line. Denny's at 23.5. It's like a perfect line, honestly.
Yeah,
it's a good line.
Silly line to play. I'm taking the under. Screw it. I wouldn't take that line just in general, like either way.
Yeah, no, definitely stay away from that one. All right, fellas. That's going to do it for our pregame show. Obviously, 6 p.m. Actually, 5 p.m. Central start. OKC at Portland. Really big game. I do think Jack was right. We're going to see a lot of scoring from a lot of different guys tonight. And hopefully our defensive guys just keep knowing their role and affecting the games and pretty much winning us games on the defensive side of the ball. If you guys have anything else, say it now or we're getting out of here.
No, man. Nothing else. I just hope we don't drop another game to the Blazers.
Yeah, that would be something. If our 2 losses both came in Portland, that would be hell.
Yeah.
But
especially Drew Holiday missing, I feel like that's a huge miss for them. Yeah. He gets like 8 assists for them, and he's a really good veteran. Defense, everything. So we should not drop this game. Like I'd actually be a little upset. Like I know we're 19-1, but I don't care who we're missing or whatever. This is Portland. Come on, like just win the game.
Jack, last remarks.
Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know how we're doing. This should be an easy game, I think.
Jack, we got to see the background. We got to see.
Yeah, yeah. I can show you my setup today. We're
beautiful
at the coastline, so no days off.
Oh, yeah. All right, Jack, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Everyone, thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the view and the content, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below your thoughts on tonight's game, and we will see you guys live for our post-game live show after the game. And Thunder up, baby! Let's go!